Hello and welcome to another Shine Bright Wellbeing podcast. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you had a wonderful one, and I wish you so much love and happiness in 2023. Always exciting starting a new year. And today I wanted to speak to you a little bit about the Cancer full moon. So the Cancer full moon falls on either the 6th or the 7th of January. So depending where you are in the world. Here in the UK, it falls on the 6th of January in the evening. In Australia, it's the 7th of January in the morning. So it just, it depends where you are in the world and your time zone as to where that full moon will fall for you. Feels not that intense for a full moon, and some may disagree because again, all moons will resonate with you and will have different intensity depending on what's going on in your life. But this full moon doesn't feel quite as intense, quite as heavy as some can be. Full moons are generally quite heavy, very releasing, and of course there's some releasing energy around this full moon. There's some growth, expansion, things that we can work through, things that we can work with if we're open to doing so. But generally the energy for me just feels a little lighter. This full moon is really asking us to stay slowing down, to rest, to reset, to reflect on the year past. So generally when we come into January energy, we sort of want to keep moving. There's a lot of motivation to do things that we want to achieve our goals, to start the year off well. But this moon is a little different this year. It's really asking us just to stay still, to slow down, to pause, to reflect, and to take our time when making particularly big decisions or commitments. We have Mars and Mercury in retrograde at the moment, and they will continue in retrograde until the middle or to the end of the month. So a lot of energy around that as well, and sort of slowing down, and I'll speak a little bit about that. But this moon, the words that sort of come up for me are growth, love, awareness, and trust. So growth, there's so much opportunity for us to grow under this energy, and for us to grow this year, to really reflect on the year just past, to reflect on the energy, to reflect on all of the challenges that we overcome, to reflect on where we were this time last year to now, and how much growth we've done in that time. Slow down if you can, spend some time in meditation and really honor yourself, honor the growth that you've had so far. And when we can reflect on the growth that we've had previously, it also helps us to move forward and to grow as we step forward, as we move into the new year, as we come under this energy. Love, there's so much energy around love. The heart has been the base of the energy for the past year or so. It's all been about self-love and compassion and really connecting with our heart space and what's important to us. So under this Cancer full moon, we're really being asked to sit with that question. What's important to us? What are the most important things to us? And sit in stillness and ask yourself this question. And although we've done this a lot over the last few months, if you've been following my podcasts, if you've been joining my yin classes, we've done a lot of work on the heart and really connecting to what our heart desires, to what's important, to what's true to us, being true to ourselves. But that's always changing. And so it's important, and particularly when this energy is really heightened around the heart, around that energy of love, of connecting inwards, to just keep asking yourself, what's important to you? And what's important to you at this moment in time? And it will change. I spoke a little bit about that on our previous New Moon podcast. So if that's still resonating with you, if that's something you're still wanting to connect with, spend some time really connecting to what's important to you, important to your heart, and then perhaps how you can align to it more. So sometimes we can know what's important to us, but we can feel really disconnected from that. We can feel out of alignment with where our heart is, where we know the things that we really value and that are really important to us, and that it's really important to bring into our lives and to focus our energy on, but we can feel misaligned. We're not too sure how to get there. So perhaps spend some time writing and journaling are really beautiful. And to do this, spend some time just connecting with how you can get in alignment with your heart a little more. How can you create those things? How can you make space within your life, within your day, within your month, or whatever it may be, to really connect with your heart space and to welcome those things in, the things that are most important to you. And then awareness, being aware again of what's important to your heart, of what is important to you within your life, being aware of where perhaps you're placing boundaries on yourself. Where are you limiting yourself? Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you allowing others to hold you back? Perhaps others' thoughts, others' opinions. Where are you worried about hurting others, or going against what perhaps they wish for you? And so again, just bringing it back to your heart space to really connect into what's important to you, how you can align more, then how you can be aware of any boundaries that you are putting up to perhaps prevent you from stepping into more alignment with your heart space. And then trust. Intuition, again, has been really, really important this year. It's been a really big theme. Where do you allow your intuition to guide you, to help you? Do you trust in your inner knowing? We all have it within us. It's a little bit like a muscle. When we work it, when we use it, when we trust, when we really allow our life to be led on our intuition, when we trust our gut, when we trust those instincts, it becomes heightened. We use it more and more and more. We trust it more and more and more. Like when you go to the gym, muscles, if you use them, awesome, they work for us. If we don't, we lose it. We lose that strength that we've built up. We lose that connection that we've made. And so intuition is exactly the same. We all have it. We all have that inner knowing within us. It's just how much we use it and how much we learn to trust it. So again, spend some time connecting with that. Are you trusting your gut? Are you trusting your instincts, or are you going against them at the moment? And you'll know within your heart whether you're going against yourself or whether you're allowing that flow. And I think this energy around this full moon is really about allowing ourselves to just go with the flow a little bit, to be open to new opportunities, to open our hearts, to welcome new opportunities, but to also sort of slow down and reflect and take our time. So where you can, if you have some really big decisions to make at the moment, try to put off making those decisions at this moment if you can, just around this full moon energy. The energy will push us forward, particularly when Mars and Mercury come out of retrograde later in the month. That forward energy will start to flow, and those new opportunities and making those big decisions will come. But if you can, if that's available to you, try to put off making really big decisions at the moment and committing to anything that's just really big, okay? That doesn't stop you sort of putting plans in place and dreaming and taking those steps. But if you can, just those really big things, if you're a little bit uncertain, a little bit confused, and Mars being in retrograde and Mercury being in retrograde can definitely heighten that feeling of being just unclear and indecisive. Just try to put them on hold where you can. So Mars is the planet of action, of energy, and of motivation. And so when it goes into retrograde, when it goes into that slow moving, that almost stopping, we can find that those things can sort of stop too. So we can feel a little bit unmotivated. We can feel like we've got a lack of energy. We can feel like we don't really know how to take action, or we're probably not feeling like we want to take action at the moment. So again, taking those small baby steps, it's definitely a lesson that I'm learning. I can be very impatient sometimes with certain things. And so I'm learning and just reminding yourself that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to take your time to do things. You don't have to rush into everything. Things don't have to be perfect either. So a lot of this energy as well is about really stepping back and trying to release control, trying to let go of control. And if you're someone like me who loves to be in control, who feels safe when they're in control, that can be really challenging. So again, a lesson, particularly for myself, that I've really started to learn and are continuing to learn. It's always a learning curve, a journey. But where you can, try to release control, try to step into that space of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust in the process. Things will happen when they're meant to. True believer of that. And I think that's where letting go of control is it's really helped me to let go of control by trusting that things happen for a reason. They happen at the time that they're meant to happen. And there's always beautiful things in them. Sometimes they happen even better than they're meant to. So releasing control where you can, with Mercury as well. So Mercury is a planet of communication. And again, when they've got that slow moving energy, that's stationary, that's stopping, sometimes that communication can become a little foggy, a little muddled. Sometimes we can, particularly with Mars, again, that high energy with it being in retrograde, we can feel very emotional. So when we couple that really high emotional energy with not particularly being able to communicate very well, it can become a little bit challenging, particularly if you are facing boundaries or problems potentially communicating with others, with people around you. And again, we've just had Christmas and New Year, when we've spent a lot of time with people that perhaps we don't tend to spend time with throughout the year, or tend to spend a lot of time with a lot of people together, a lot of gatherings. So if you feel like there are boundaries that need to be said, or things that need to be said, perhaps just take a moment just to sit with your emotions and just ask yourself whether that communication is coming from a place of love and kindness, whether it's coming from heightened emotion, and just sit with that. And so again, perhaps a time just to step back and reflect, and to take your time when having those difficult conversations, when having those challenging conversations. Of course, by all means, they are important. We should have them, absolutely. But can you sit in emotion? Can you sit, with your emotion, and just see where that's coming from? If that's coming from a high state of emotion, or whether you're able to communicate with love and compassion and kindness and all the things that that we try to bring into. Of course, we're human, okay? So be gentle with yourself as well. If you found that you've had some really challenging conversations, if things have been pretty hard for you at the moment, and particularly with that communication, trying to really express your true self, but perhaps not coming across in a way that you would like to, be kind and gentle and forgiving to yourself. So a lot of hard energy around that self-love as well. So beautiful moon energy may be intense for some, but again, just really welcoming in that gentle energy, that taking things slowly, being open to all opportunities, but taking it slowly. Crystals for this full moon: rose quartz. Rose quartz is my absolute go-to crystal for the heart. It is gentle, it is feminine, it is beautiful, it is nourishing, it is nurturing. And of course, I say feminine energy, that doesn't mean that men can't use it. We have feminine and masculine energy in all of us. It's just that more gentle, nurturing energy, and the feminine energy that kind of comes with that. So rose quartz is beautiful for anyone, right? Perfect for the heart, perfect for working with self-love, self-worth, when you're trying to perhaps slow down, be gentle with yourself, releasing that control, all of those beautiful things that rose quartz really bring in. And of course, connecting to the things that are important to our heart space. Lapis. Lapis is beautiful for the throat chakra. So always love to work with lapis when there's any energy around communication, around expressing ourselves. And of course, with Mercury being in retrograde, we're working really highly with that, that communication energy, that expressing of our voice, of our true self. And so really helping us to stay true to ourselves, to express ourselves in a loving, kind, gentle way, with compassion. And that's not just to others, that's to ourselves as well, because sometimes we can really give ourselves a hard time. We can, again, as we come into January, we generally put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So where you can, try to release that pressure and try to communicate to yourself in a really loving, kind, gentle way. Be patient with yourself where you can. And then we've got selenite as well. So really simple today, just 3 crystals in our crystal grid: the rose quartz, lapis, and selenite. Again, just to represent that gentle energy, that gentle, loving, nurturing, slowing down sort of energy. Selenite is beautiful to connect to our crown chakra. Our crown chakra sits on the top of our head. Okay, and it connects us to the world around us. It connects us to the universe, connects us to others. It connects us to our intuition. So it's beautiful if you're working with heightening your intuition, trusting your intuition a little more. So really nice crystal to work with for trust, and also to clear your mind. So again, with Mars and Mercury being in retrograde, you may feel like your mind is just a little bit all over the place, a little foggy, really unclear. And so selenite can just help to clear some of that fog. It's a beautiful crystal for meditation. So if you do find yourself in meditation around this full moon or any time, it's really nice to have selenite in your hand, on your body, in the room around you, in front of you. Again, use the crystal as it feels comfortable to you, as whatever feels right for you. But selenite is beautiful to help to just clear our mind, to quiet some of that chatter in our mind, and to really bring us from our mind to our heart. So to drop into our body, to release that control, help us to release expectation, and to just really open our hearts and to go with the flow. So yeah, hopefully you've taken a few little snippets from there. Hopefully some things resonate with you. Of course, it's okay if it doesn't. It's all about just connecting with what works for you. Some moons really resonate, others we sort of just glide through and almost don't notice them. So happy full moon, everyone. Happy Cancer full moon. Thank you all, and I will speak to you all again soon. Happy full moon.